Good morning, everyone. Happy to have you with me. Hello from Brussels. I'm happy to tell you that we were 57 people reading the first pages of Les Misérables. We're going to read the second part or the second two pages, page 22, 23. Well, from Brussels also, my dear Mannequin Peace says hello. I hope you know him. I hope you do. So, we had this stranger coming into the hostel or the inn, and so he's asking, il demandait, ou il demanda. Yes, this I have to explain that, in fact, in French, you use this form, which we call passé simple, which we do not use to speak, but only to write. So this form would have been in talking language, demandait, A-I-T. If you want more information about that, you can ask me. But so he asked again one time, so once more, you will say in English, dîne-t-on bientôt? Are we dining soon? And this on form, you know that in French you can use it for oui, hein, you can use it instead of nous. Tout à l'heure, dit l'hôte. So tout à l'heure means later, said the host. L'enfant revint. The child came back. All these forms are passé simple. So the child came back, but remember, the hostel keeper or the innkeeper sent the child away with a small piece of paper. And so this child came back. Il rapportait le papier. He brought back the paper. L'hôte le déplia avec empressement, comme quelqu'un qui attend une réponse. So the host, and then déplier is to unfold, so unfolded it, that's le, with haste, like rapidly, like in a hurry, avec empressement, in a hurry, like someone who is waiting for a response, an answer. So attendre in French does not have a preposition. In English, you would say to wait for. In French, it will just be attendre. Il parut lire attentivement, puis hocha la tête et resta un moment pensif. So he looked like, it comes from the verb paraître. It seemed like, he looked like, it seemed like he was reading with attention, attentivement, with attention, so really carefully, then nodded. He nodded, well, he nodded his head, but in English we'll say he nodded, and stayed a moment thinking, so reflective thinking. Enfin, il fit un pas vers le voyageur qui semblait plongé dans ses réflexions peu sereines. So finally, he made, and watch out, fit is coming from the verb faire. There is a few passé simple you have to know from which verb they're coming. Most of the verbs are clear. The original verb is clear, but fit, not clear. Well, it comes from the verb faire, to do or to make. So he made a step towards the traveler who seemed plongé, well, plunged in his reflections. Well, I think in English you would rather say like deep in thought. So deep in what kind of reflections? Peu sereine. Not very calm, like not very calm, not very serene. You can also say in English, not very serene thoughts. Monsieur, dit-il, je ne puis vous recevoir. So, sir, he said, I cannot receive you. L'homme se dressa à demi sur son séant. So, the man, se dresser is like to rise up. He rose up, à demi, half, so partly, on his seat. Comment? Avez-vous peur que je ne paye pas? So how? He doesn't understand. He says, how? Do you have fear? Avez-vous peur? In French, it's to have avoir peur, to be afraid, but it's really to have fear. You see, have is the verb avoir. Do you have fear that I do not pay? Voulez-vous que je paye d'avance? So, do you want that I pay in advance? Now, this I also have to tell you that this construction in English, do you want me to? This construction is just made with a subordinate clause in French, so it will always be with that I pay, que je, hein, and not do you want me to. Hein. Do you want that I pay in advance? J'ai de l'argent, vous dis-je. I have money, I tell you. Ce n'est pas cela. That's not it. Quoi donc? So what? Vous avez de l'argent. You have money. Oui, dit l'homme. Yes, said the man. Et moi, dit l'autre, je n'ai pas de chambre. And me, said the host, I do not have a room. L'homme reprit tranquillement, mettez-moi à l'écurie. So the man answered calmly, well, reprit, again, it could be répondre, reprendre, could be quite a lot of verbs when you want to say to answer. Here it's like he took up again. Huh? It means reprendre, take up again. He responded, put me in the stable. L'écurie, that's where the horses live. Je ne puis, I cannot. Pourquoi? Why? Les chevaux prennent toute la place. The horses take all the space, all the place, all the space. Eh bien, repartit l'homme, un coin dans le grenier. Well, and you see, this is again like a way of saying to respond, repartir, reprendre, répondre, a lot of synonyms for the same word. So, well, said the man, a corner in the attic. Une botte de paille, like a bale of straw. Nous verrons cela après dîner. We will see that after dinner. Je ne puis vous donner à dîner. I cannot give you to dine. I cannot give you food. I cannot give you to dine. I cannot give you dinner. Cette déclaration, faite d'un ton mesuré mais ferme, parut grave à l'étranger. So this declaration made on a measured tone, so it means like on a measured tone, that means like half loud, but firm, seemed serious to the stranger. Il se leva. He stood up. Ah, bah, mais je meurs de faim, moi. But, well, so, mais, this is the but I am dying of hunger, me. So, he's very hungry. J'ai marché dès le soleil levé. So, I have marched, I have walked from the rising of the sun. J'ai fait 12 lieues. I've made or I did 12 miles. Je paye, I pay. Je veux manger, I want to eat. Je n'ai rien, dit l'hôte. I don't have anything, said the host. L'homme éclata de rire et se tourna vers la cheminée et les fourneaux. So the man éclata, burst out into laughter and turned around towards the chimney and the furnaces or the ovens. Rien? Et tout cela? Nothing and all that? Tout cela m'est retenu. All that has been, well, retenu, it normally has been retained to me. It really means has been reserved. Hein? It was reserved. Par qui? By whom? Par ces messieurs, les rouliers. By those gentlemen, those, well, roulier, well, it's an old job. I don't think it exists. It still exists, but like the cart makers or the wheel makers. Combien sont-ils? How many are they? 12, 12. And so we're going to the next page. Il y a là à manger pour 20. There is there to eat for 20. Ils ont tout retenu et tout payé d'avance. So they have all reserved. So everything is reserved and everything paid in advance. L'homme se rassit et dit sans hausser la voix. So the man sat down again and said without raising, hausser means raising his voice. Je suis à l'auberge. J'ai faim et je reste. I am at the hostel or the inn. I am hungry. Yes, in French it is to have hunger. To have hunger is to be hungry. I'm hungry and I stay. L'hôte alors se pencha à son oreille et lui dit d'un accent qui le fit tressaillir, « Allez-vous-en ». So the host then bent to his ear and said to him with an accent or maybe a tone which made him tressaillir means tremble. Allez-vous-en, go away. Go away. That's how you say go away. Le voyageur était courbé en cet instant et poussait quelques braises dans le feu avec le bout ferré de son bâton. Let's take it already to that point. So the traveler was courbé, bent over at that moment and pushed a few braises. I think it's like some coals, some embers in the fire with the tip, the iron tip of his stick. Il se retourna vivement. So he turned around vivement with energy, with life. It says vivement, so with energy. Et comme il ouvrait la bouche pour répliquer, l'hôte le regarda fixement et ajouta toujours à voix basse, « Tenez, assez de paroles comme ça. » And, comme il ouvrait, as he opened his mouth to reply, the host looked at him, fixement means really like firmly, and added still à voix basse, in a very low voice, so like whispering, Tenez, here you are. Enough words like that. Voulez-vous que je vous dise votre nom? Do you want, and we have again this construction, do you want that I tell you your name? In English, that would be, do you want me to tell you your name? Vous vous appelez Jean Valjean. You are called, or your name is Jean Valjean. Maintenant, voulez-vous que je vous dise qui vous êtes? Now, do you want that I say who you are? Again, this construction, which in English would have been, do you want me to tell you who you are? En vous voyant entrer, je me suis douté de quelque chose. J'ai envoyé à la mairie et voici ce qu'on m'a répondu. So, en voyant. So, while seeing you, but it really means like when I saw you, but it says while seeing you, enter, so enter the hostel. Well, je me suis douté, I doubted, but here it really means like I suspected something. I have sent to the town hall, so he means the boy, he sent the boy, and here is what they have answered to me. And you see here the on is they. On can be a lot of things. It can be one, one in general, one. It can be we, it can be they, so it can be a lot of things. Here it's they. Here is what they answered to me. Savez-vous lire? Can you read? En parlant ainsi, il tendait à l'étranger tout déplié le papier qui venait de voyager de l'auberge à la mairie et de la mairie à l'auberge. So while talking like this, He gave to the stranger, totally unfolded the paper, which had just traveled. And here we have a very interesting construction. Venir de, coming from, but this is in English, you would translate by just. So had just traveled. Really, it says which came from traveling, but in English, had just traveled. So this you absolutely have to note down. It's a very interesting construction, which is completely different in French and in English. Let me know if you want to hear more about that. So, which had just traveled from the hostel to the town hall and from the town hall to the hostel. L'homme y jeta un regard. So the man jeta threw a look at it. So he took a look at the paper. The small word y means there. So, and here it is at a paper. L'aubergiste reprit après un silence. So the innkeeper reprit, it's again this reprendre, talked again, after a silence. J'ai l'habitude d'être poli avec tout le monde. I have the habit to be polite with everybody. Allez-vous-en. Go away. L'homme baissa la tête, ramassa le sac qu'il avait déposé à terre et s'en alla. So, the man, baissé means lowered his head, picked up the bag that he had deposited or maybe put on the floor and went away. To go away is s'en aller. So this s'en part means away. So if you have questions, don't hesitate. Il prit la grande rue. He took the big road. Il marchait devant lui au hasard. He walked in front of him randomly. Au hasard means randomly, aimlessly. Rasant de près les maisons. It really says like shaving very close to the houses. But it means he really walked close to the houses because, you know, he didn't want to be seen. Comme un homme humilié et triste. Like a man who was humiliated and sad. Il ne se retourna pas une seule fois. So he didn't turn around, not one single time. S'il s'était retourné, il aurait vu l'aubergiste de la Croix de Colbas sur le seuil de sa porte, entouré de tous les voyageurs de son auberge et de tous les passants de la rue, parlant vivement et le désignant du doigt. Let's already go until there because it's really a long sentence. So, if he had turned around, he would have seen the innkeeper of, well, La Croix de Colbas is the name of the inn, on the step of his door. Entouré means surrounded by all the travelers of his hostel and of all the passerbys, yes, of the street, talking with energy, vivement with energy, and pointing at him with their finger. Et au regard de défiance et d'effroi du groupe, il aurait deviné qu'avant peu, son arrivée serait l'événement de toute la ville. And in the looks of defiance, or could we say mistrust, and fear of the group, he would have guessed that avant peu means before long, in fact means very quickly, so before long, very quickly, his arrival would be the event of the whole city. So he knew that everybody was going to talk about him. Il ne vit rien de tout cela. He didn't see anything of all that. Les gens, accablés, ne regardent pas derrière eux. So people that are, well, accablés, could we say like burdened or crushed down, don't look behind them. Ils ne savent que trop que le mauvais sort les suit. They know, ne que, that's the only, they know only, trop, too well, that le mauvais sort, hein, bad luck or an evil spell or a curse, follows them. Il chemina ainsi quelque temps. So he walked, chemin means is the road, huh? So he continued on the road, he walked like that, little time, so a little bit, during some time. Marchant toujours, still walking. Okay, we have finished. Wonderful, wonderful. Happy if you arrived here to the end with me. That's really nice. Don't forget that when you're reading with me, if you're watching my videos, if you're liking, then you help my NPO, my non-profit, gaining money through publicity. So thank you very much. And all this is to help young people to study, to help them with their school exams and so on. Well, I wish you a very, very nice Tuesday. Hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye. And here is my little mannequin piece saying goodbye also from Brussels. See you soon. Bye.